Reagan, big government passed. So he cut federal regulation 50% and the Federal Register 23,000 pages. Crazy. Next, he touched Medicaid out truly 5% down and food stamps 13% down and the Child Nutrition Act 28% down and low-cost housing funding was cut from 32 billion to 9 billion. Crazy. And Department of Education staffing was down 25%. Finally, 63% down in the state grants for education. Clearly, he's not a fan of poor people getting educated. And next, the Omnibus Budget and Reconstruction Act meant that in 87, less federal spending. Okay, onto how there was actually still a big government while Congress blocked any removal of the environmental regulation. Next, there was still Social Security going on. He did not abolish the Department of Education like he wanted to. Yes. Next, the Food Security Act was forced to pass by Congress in 85, so that was a win. Next, Carter had already started deregulation with airlines, railways, much more. So actually, you're not unique, but also federal employment rose 3%, so it's actually getting bigger. And lastly, big government just stayed. Okay, next. Inequality, 3.7 million people who needed low-cost housing didn't get it. Crazy. Okay, and homelessness rose 200k to 400k. Those under the poverty line also rose from 1979, 11.7% to 1983, which was 15%. And unemployment in the East Coast, well, that was 7.8%. Crazy. And in terms of minorities, well, he did not allow any extension of civil rights legislation. He actually vetoed Civil Rights Reconstruction Act and did not oppose Voting Rights Act. Clearly, he felt threatened by the fact that only 9% of black people voted for him. No wonder. Next, he cut 40% in the bilingual education, federal appointments. 3 out of the 368 were black, 15 were Hispanic. Also, he stopped any Medicaid-funded abortions. He did not fuck with the NAACP. In 1981, he actually did not address them. But in some ways, he wasn't discriminative, which we're gonna get into right now. In 1987, there was the McKinney Act, which created the Federal Emergency Management Food and Shelter Program and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which created grants for states to solve homelessness and also for emergency medical care. And also, there were more funding for projects for homelessness. This increased in 84, which was 300 million, to 88, which was $1.6 billion. Next, there was Sandra Day. She was appointed in the Supreme Court and also was a woman, so she must be a feminist apparently. And also, women's earnings rose. In 80, it was it was actually 62% of men's, and in 90, it was 72% of men's earnings. And also, he couldn't be racist because MLK Day was created during his presidency in 1983. So yeah, to those who says he doesn't like gay people, he actually did discriminate against them on AIDS, but eventually also increased funding of AIDS when his best friend actually died from it. Crazy. Now onto revitalization. How did he revitalize or otherwise the presidency? One, he gave a national debt of 2.7 trillion, 4.1% of GNP. Interest rating payment was 14% of total federal spending. Crazy. And also the Iran-Contra scandal was popular, but not actually as bad as Watergate. So moving on. Next, there was a Democratic majority both in Congress and the House of Representatives. Also, his relationship with Congress was so bad that even Bush and Clinton struggled. Clinton couldn't even pass his health care package. Crazy. But in some ways, he did revitalize the presidency because there was more trust, which is crazy. I loved it. The thing he restored was trust. But that's good for him. Approval ratings went from 67.46 to 64. That was as high as FDR. Actually, no one got better than that. And I think I can say the same thing from right now. Anyways, no shade. People had more patriotic belief about America. I guess that was good. And also there was the New Democrat because of the new right. So really he did inspire a lot of people up there. And yeah, let me know, would you have voted for Reagan?